Corey Hunt and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4. This is a NonStop Local weather alert.
We begin here at 4 o'clock with a NonStop Local weather alert. High winds are expected to hit much of central and eastern Washington, along with parts of North Idaho. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here. Leslie Lowe, she's the one that called this weather alert for us. Leslie, what's going on?
What gives? Well, we did get a chance to speak to Ed Townsend, the Science and Operations Officer at National Weather Service. He says those high wind gusts, they come with a lot of impacts to the public as well as the infrastructure. Take a listen.
Impacts can range all over from just general public to Department of Transportation and infrastructure. Damaging winds can blow down trees and break tree limbs, which could impact power lines, so power outages could be caused by them, but travel is also very difficult, especially for high profile vehicles.
Yeah, most definitely makes things very difficult. Townsend clarified that those high profile vehicles include tractor trailers, farm equipment, and even large SUVs. He also says the winds have the ability to cause dust storms impacting both farmers and nearby drivers with visibility issues. Those winds are expected to last until Thursday morning. So let's get into it. Yes, we are under a weather alert because we have got some big changes on the way as we get you overnight tonight into tomorrow. Current look at our mountain passes a little bit different than what we were seeing yesterday at this time. We're catching a little bit of a lull out there. So dry roadways for the most part across Snoqualmie Pass. We've got some ice and some slush there across Stevens Pass. Both are about to get slammed with widespread and heavy snowfall. Current conditions here in Spokane, 41 degrees. We've got 39 degrees for both Pullman and for Coeur d'Alene. 44 degrees our current temperature in Chihuahua, but the winds have been kicking it throughout the afternoon. Sustained winds anywhere from 10 to 20, even 25 miles per hour, with those strongest wind gusts in the last 24 hours at 33 miles per hour in Spokane. Central Washington also seeing some of those wind gusts, 30, 35 miles per hour. Again, satellite and radar, we did see that sunshine, which we were expecting today. We've also seen some little bursts of snowfall out towards the Spokane Valley. We were out doing a Teacher of the Month. Again, there were some bursts of snow there. And then you can see that little line is pushing to north central Idaho and over towards parts of western Montana. But we're winding things up as this next system approaches. So as we head overnight tonight, you can see that snow dropping into the valley floors. We've got a quick hitting band that will push through overnight tonight into early tomorrow, but also the snow really starting to kick back up again across the mountain passes in the Cascades. As far as what we're seeing winter weather watch wise, as well as winter storm warning wise, we're still expecting that 2 to 4 feet of snow in Snoqualmie Pass, 3 to 6 feet in Stevens Pass. In addition to that, we do now have winter storm warnings over towards Lookout Pass. Anywhere again from 1 to 2 feet of snowfall is expected. Now the winter storm warnings and watches over towards the Cascades will be replaced with a blizzard warning tomorrow night. That's all because the winds are going to kick up. You can see we now have high wind warnings that are in play for all areas shaded in dark brown, and we've got some wind advisories for the lighter shades of brown. Wind gust approaching anywhere from 50 to even 75 miles per hour. So you can see up across the Cascades where we are expecting heavy amounts of snowfall as we head overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. Along with those winds, it is going to create some incredibly dangerous driving conditions. So if you've got a trip that takes you to the west side of the state, again, please be incredibly careful and maybe plan around that. That is again overnight Wednesday and into Thursday. All right, when I see you back here in just a few minutes, we'll get a full look at that weather forecast. It is a messy one for sure. Corey?
We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated.
We are tracking the latest out of Iran as the country experiences the most intense day of strikes to date. That is according to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Video shows what experts call black rain falling in Iran after the strikes. The World Health Organization says this phenomenon poses danger to anyone exposed. The timeline for the war is still unclear. Secretary Hegseth and President Trump have given mixed messages on their goals for the conflict. The Pentagon has reported about 140 injuries to U.S. service members since the beginning of the war, In a statement, officials described the majority of the injuries as minor, and more than 100 service members have already returned to duty. The administration says 7 U.S. troops have died in action during the operation. Meanwhile, U.S. military planners say they are looking at how they can help escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. The strait is a critical shipping route. 1/5 of the oil consumed around the globe goes through there. Iran has threatened to attack any ship that tries to traverse it. President Trump said on Monday on social media that if Iran blocks the strait, the U.S. will hit back, quote, 20 times harder. As the conflict continues, several lawmakers in D.C. are demanding more transparency.
I know a lot I can't share with you, and I can't share with my constituents who want to know if their kids or spouses are going to be deployed and for how long. We want to drag this into the open and ask questions in front of the American public, and that's what we're asking.
With questions about deployment looming, Washington's Air National Guard tells us that members of the 141st Refueling Wing at Fairchild have been activated to help with the war in Iran. Fairchild Air Force Base is sharing the ways that they care for families while their loved ones are deployed. NonStop Local's Noah Bolter visited Fairchild today and shares how you can get connected.
Fairchild Air Force Base has resources for families getting ready for deployment.
I would say that the best thing when families start to feel that little bit of worry or anxiousness is to come in and connect with us.
Once you contact Fairchild's Military and Family Readiness Center, you can access 16 different programs ranging from child care resources, financial guidance, schooling resources, a variety of counseling. You could even get a cutout of your loved one before they go.
When you're apart from your better half or your puzzle piece, then there's unpredictability and the schedules are different, things of that nature. And so we always encourage them to come in, see us, because we have the resources that are available to them to help navigate those situations.
Anyone who is homebound but still needs support can contact the Exceptional Family Member Program, where a family support coordinator can visit you to talk options.
The only impact has been positive. We have seen when families come in and they act in a preventative measure and not necessarily reactionary, they get connected and plugged in right away, and their overall quality of life does improve.
No matter how long your loved one is deployed, and even after, the Family Readiness Center will support you. At Fairchild, I'm Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
Another concern during this conflict, rising gas prices, but jet fuel also seen a dramatic spike over the last week, leading to potential concerns of raised prices for commercial airlines. Experts say this all comes down to the crack, which is the jet fuel premium to crude. They say you're looking for a small difference between the price per barrel of crude oil and the cost of jet fuel, but recent data from the International Air Transport Association shows that that gap is exploding, which means jet fuel is more expensive. The global average of jet fuel price is up 58.4%, the crack showing a 159.7% increase. Experts say if the gap continues to expand, flights could be grounded and ticket prices doubled. Associate Economics Professor at Gonzaga, Ryan Herzog, walked us through other ways your wallet could be impacted.
Last time we saw oil prices spike, they levied bag fees, so there might be some baggage fees that they might increase. They'll do something to recoup some of these higher fuel costs.
And to give you an idea of potential long-term implications in the airline travel industry, they say the last time the spread between crude oil and jet fuel exceeded $65, that damage was significant. It resulted in 2 major airlines, Delta and Northwest, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Tracking the Washington State Legislature now, Governor Bob Ferguson signed a Domestic Workers Bill of Rights into law on Monday, establishing new labor protections for approximately 100,000 employees across the state. The legislation guarantees a minimum wage, overtime pay, and formal written agreements for domestic workers such as nannies, housekeepers, and gardeners who work 4 or more hours a month. The law protects workers from labor harassment and discrimination while ensuring they have the right to return to their positions with back pay if they are unlawfully fired. That law will go into effect on July 1st of 2027. Last year, Gonzaga women's basketball had to watch March Madness from home after falling to Oregon State in the semifinals of the WCC tournament. This year, Gonzaga and Oregon State would meet again, with the Zags having the chance to flip the script. Austin Getz joining us now. You ready, Austin?
Yeah.
The pressure here could not be any higher.
No, it really, by definition, it could not, Corey. Win you go to the NCAA tournament, but lose, your season is over as no at-large bid is on the table. The Zags feeling that sting last year after losing in the semifinals. Allie Turner and the Zags looking for revenge against the Beavers and also looking for a March Madness ticket. This game had 15 lead changes. Late first quarter, Lauren Whitaker splashes a three. Now in the second quarter, she'll get another with a kind bounce off the iron. A 10-0 run from the Zags has them up multiple possessions. The Zags are your WCC champions, the first time they've won the conference tournament since 2022. The Zags are also headed back to the NCAA tournament after missing out on the big dance last year. It'll be a happy selection Sunday. The Zags know that they're in. Now it's all about who they play and where. And also coming up later tonight, Corey, you've got the Gonzaga men taking on Santa Clara in the men's championship. That game coming up at 6, and we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up at 5.
Going to have a big selection Sunday coming up here, yeah?
Big selection Sunday, because you also have the Idaho Vandal women who are now in the Big Sky Conference championship game, and the Idaho Vandal men and Eastern Washington men facing off in a semifinal matchup at Starch Madness coming up tonight at 8:30.
All right, go Zags, go Eagles, go Vandals, go everyone.
Go everybody.
All right, thanks, Austin. Still to come here on NonStop Local at 4. We're talking odds. Odds of winning a 50-50 raffle, odds of a space probe harming you. Oddly similar. Let's just say have your head on swivel for the next 24 hours or so, yeah? Yeah. Plus it's weather.
Oh, plus there's weather, and there is a lot of weather to talk about when I see you back here in just a few minutes. High wind warnings, winter storm warnings, winter storm watches, and how about a blizzard warning? All those details when we see you back here right after the break.